and thank you for joining me again today on the Finding Hope After Loss podcast. Today's episode is for anyone who has ever felt like there is no such thing as a safe milestone in a pregnancy after loss. I'm joined by Kayla, who's a mom to one living child, 10 babies in heaven, and who is a fierce advocate for honoring every life, no matter how brief. Kayla has been through multiple chemical pregnancies, early losses, and the heartbreaking loss of her son at 15 weeks. In this episode, we talk about what it's like to keep trying after repeated loss, how pregnancy after loss never truly feels safe, the guilt of still feeling sad, and how we continue parenting our babies who aren't physically here with us while still raising the ones who are. Hello, everyone. Today I am here with Kayla. Kayla, do you mind telling us a little about yourself?
Sure. I am a stay-at-home mom to a 4-year-old, formerly a social worker, and prior to that, a early education teacher. I'm also a children's author and a theater performer.
Oh, wow. That's a lot
Yeah,
of fun stuff.
yeah. I try to keep it busy.
Do you still do theater stuff then?
I do. I just got my first New York City contract for a cabaret for a date of my choosing, so I don't know when it is yet.
That's exciting. I've
Yeah.
never, talked to anybody who does that. So,
Oh, yeah. I love doing that kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun for me.
yeah, I feel like that's, something that you can do just for yourself because sometimes
Yeah,
being a mom and, doing things like that, you tend to not be able to do those kinds of things anymore because everything is for your kids.
exactly. Yeah, and I try to do that because I'm a stay-at-home mom. I want to make sure I have the balance, but I also want him growing up knowing that moms do things. I guess as a mom of a boy, I really want, especially a white boy, I really want him to see that the role isn't just I'm just mom and I just do all the mom things. No, moms do all these other things too.
I love that. Yeah, because that's so true that they, obviously everything they learn is from what we teach them and whether it's
Yeah,
intentional or not, they're picking up on all of that. So, yeah, no, I
yeah.
definitely love that you are doing that.
Thank
So,
you.
do you mind sharing a little bit about your loss journey?
Yes, so it's been quite a long journey. Our first loss was chemical pregnancy before my son, and we got pregnant right away. And then we're moving, so we took a break, had our son, and then I was breastfeeding for 2 years, 3 months, because that little boy did not wanna wean. Started trying again. We wanted them to be close in age, so we started trying again, had a 7-week loss, and then since then, a bunch of chemical pregnancies. So I've had about 10 losses. We started doing IVF last year. About actually this time last year, we did our egg retrieval. We got 3 eggs because I have endometriosis. I only have 1 ovary, and the tube is partially blocked. So everything is healthy, everything is good, but we're higher risk for ectopic. So our last fertilized embryo stuck. That was July? Yeah, right before the 4th of July. So we had this little secret, but it was a stressful pregnancy. Overall, not a lot of people tell you that there's a lot of bleeding and subchorionic hematomas that go hand in hand with IVF pregnancies. We were in Mexico and I had a huge gush of blood. It was just kind of not a fun time. But the baby was progressing perfectly. The heartbeat was always really strong. He was always either exactly on time or a day early for a day, how it's a week. So he's a day behind of that. So it's always great. And everything was good. We got to the 12-week mark, which we hadn't since our son. And then we got to 15 weeks and I had black blood. And I thought that was odd. And I was like, well, maybe it's old blood, but it's black. So let's go to the ER. And 2 days before that, I had felt him move for the first time. So I was not worried, but he had no heartbeat. And that was terrible. It was a Friday. They wanted me to wait a week to do a D&E. And I was like, absolutely not. And I was definitely that guy about it. But it's just crazy to me. There was a lot of really wonderful and compassionate medical professionals, but some of them are like, well, this isn't an emergency. I'm like, what? To whom is this not?
Like, really?
like on several levels it is emotionally, but also it is deadly. What are we doing? So yeah, we had found out he was a boy. We had done the nip it. Everything was good. His heart just stopped beating. We did the genetic test after because we hadn't done the genetic tests of the embryo. And I know that's personal for everybody. For us, it was like if you're a carrier for something, even if you don't have any symptoms of it, they were saying that that's not a good embryo and just not gonna use it. And I was like, that seems foolish, but I also only have one ovary, so we'll do what we can. But everything after that came back normal. My placenta was great. Everything was great. So it was just that his body wasn't strong enough. So that was the first weekend in October, right before our wedding anniversary. We had told our son, so that happened.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. That's just so much all at once, you know? It's like one hit after another, and you're like, "What do I
Yeah.
like, how do I even go forward?" Like, I don't.
Yes. And we were very much like they had sent I remember they sent us home from the hospital after they confirmed he had passed away. But we were gonna go back in the next day. The the doctor at the ED was like, "No, I'll make sure you get seen this weekend, but you have to go home." So my parents took our son because I was like, "I don't have the bandwidth to explain this to him yet. I need, like, a little space from it." But it was just also surreal. They were like, "Well, just go home, I guess." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I nothing there's nothing? Okay." It's still to this day, that part was so, like, heart-wrenching, and I understand it was an emergency department and the amount of beds and all of that. I do. I get it. I was a social worker. I worked in hospitals. At the same time, I do feel that the hospital staff could have been more sensitive to it. When I got up to a room, the next not the next day, the day after that, it was better. They were very kind. The the doctor doing the DNA asked what his name was, and they made sure to, like, honor him in the room, and we got footprints of his. But the whole thing just and then have to come home and explain it to a 4-year-old. Well, he was 3 at the time, he just turned 4, but that was hard. Nobody really, like, talked to us about that, but I always feel that when you're pregnant, you should celebrate it. And why would we not tell him he's gonna be a big brother? He is, first of all, a stage 5 clinger, so he needs the time to adjust to the idea of a sibling, but he was getting really excited about it. And even to this day, we talked about it yesterday, how James was in mommy's belly, but he just wasn't strong enough. And he and Luca is my son's name. He's like, "Well, I'm strong enough." And I was like, "Yes, you're here, you're with us. He's just not physically with us." And so that I think for me has been the hardest part is just, how like little boy brains work and it just comes up out of nowhere. That stuff.
Yeah, and sometimes those comments, like, they're not meaning anything by them, but they still kinda hurt you just because it's
Yeah.
like you see everything that not only that you were robbed of, but everything that he was robbed of, and it's just yeah, it's heartbreaking to hear the things that they say.
Yeah. And especially because like they don't they have no tax. They're not meant to. So it's just like he was we were in the car. We were with my parents and nowhere he was like, "James died." And I was like, "Yes, he did. Why are we thinking about this now?" Like nothing had happened in the context. But I think, it takes a long time for kids to process it, I
Mm.
assume. Just it's a big deal because I don't really like the concept of death is just so abstract for little ones.
Yeah, my son was actually also 3 at the time that we lost Jasmine, and he's 11 now. So, at the time, it was kind of the same thing as your son, like he kind of understood, but I didn't think he fully understood. But then as he's gotten older, he's expressed more awareness and more feelings surrounding it and things. So I can tell how much it did affect him, even though I didn't necessarily know how much at the time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, they have a lot going on in their heads that we just don't always know.
they it's very true. They really do. They're just busy guys.
So I'm curious, I mean, after having so many losses, and even just after having one loss, sometimes it's so hard to decide to try again. How did you keep yourself hopeful and keep yourself going?
So a part of it is once we learned that the tube was partially blocked, we learned that like the embryos were probably getting damaged, and that helped. Before that, it was more like, well, for me, and this is just for me speaking, that like we weren't very far along. Like chemical pregnancies are at 4 weeks. So I hadn't even gotten to the point where I would call a doctor except for 2 times. So it felt less heavy for me in that context. When we had our 7-week loss, that one was really hard because I had, like, made the appointment and we're having a baby, but I really want my son to have a sibling. He loves babies. Yesterday, he had his physical, and he was playing peekaboo with just a baby, and he I I just think he would be such an amazing big brother that I want to give that to him. So, even now, we're starting IVF again. We're gonna do another egg retrieval. If it doesn't work, I don't know if we'll be done. He loves kids, and he loves playing, and I think he deserves it. It's kind of this gift I wanna give to him.
Yeah, no, I understand that completely, and yeah, it makes it that much it adds, like, that other layer
Yeah,
to your grief and things when you have those living children because, like we've been talking about, it's not just us that affects them, and so I know sometimes it's hard to give up, I don't know if that's the right word, on that dream
yeah.
because you wanna do it for him.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I just don't know how to, like, let it go and be comfortable. I clearly my body can get pregnant and have a child, and all the testing has shown that, like, the IVF doctor's like, "Your body is ideal for having babies," and yet, not that ideal, I guess. So, it's I just think that everybody is different, and for me, I don't think this journey is done
Mm,
yet. It doesn't feel done to me. But, we, like, honor our son, James. We, like, made a candle for him. It's just so hard. We don't really have anything tangible for him beyond, like, a few ultrasound photos. My friend had bought us onesies, and I put those things in a box, but it's really hard to, like, look at those things. Like, today's a Wednesday. I am a month out from my due date today. So I would be 8 months pregnant, and, like, those things suck hard. Yeah.
gosh, yeah, those dates are so hard. I mean, every year even, like, we're actually exactly a month away from what would be Jasmine's 8th birthday, and so, like, now leading up to then, I'm like, "I hate this time of year." Like, it
Yeah.
sucks, I hate it. And
Yeah,
it's just,
it
like,
still
sometimes
sucks.
that buildup is, like, worse than the day itself for me. I don't know if it is for you, but
This will be, I think, more significant. I was actually due with the 7-week pregnancy in March as well. I managed to keep myself busy, but this one is even more tangible. Like, we saw his heartbeat. We saw him, like, he waved on the ultrasound. I know he didn't wave. It looks like he waved on the ultrasound. But so I don't know. The things leading up to it, I have a friend who is due on the exact same date as me, and she's great, and I'm very happy for her. It's her first pregnancy, and I'm not taking away, but it's very hard for me to, like, engage with her. And she doesn't understand. She's one of the lucky people who's never had a loss. Got pregnant, and that was it. No waiting, just got pregnant. Awesome. She can't relate, and that's okay. But I also couldn't go to her baby shower because they didn't want people to be like, "So, when are you having another one?" And I'd be like, "Well, I
yeah.
did."
No, I understand that completely, and I think that's another thing that we don't talk about very often is how hard it is to be around other pregnant women and babies and, all of these things after going through loss. And people expect you to just, like, put your feelings aside and be happy and don't be
Yeah,
jealous, like, be happy for them, and then it makes you feel guilty, but it's like,
yeah.
nobody's stopping to think about how we're feeling.
Right? And it's not like, of course I'm happy for you. Like, babies are joyful, but at the same time, like, don't you understand? I should also be having this, and I still want it. So, like, 2 things can exist, but, like, I feel for me now, it's still soon. The grief is bigger.
Yeah, no, I mean, even now, like, I have living kids, it's been almost 8 years, I still have a hard time with baby showers, like, I still have weird feelings surrounding those and people who easily get pregnant, and
Ugh,
again, it's not like I would ever wish this on them, but it's just really hard because, like, we wish that was our journey.
yes. And that's exactly what it is. I had a friend who said something really callous after not this loss, our first loss. We had been pregnant at the same time. She had told me, so I felt compelled to tell her. and it was a chemical, but it was a big deal. I didn't even know about the, like, how how what's the word? Like, normal it is to miscarry, like 1 in 4. And around July of that year, she was like, "I wish you could get over this so we could talk about my baby." And I was like, I don't we didn't talk for quite some time because I didn't even know what to say. I still don't really know how to respond to that beyond like, "Well, I don't like, I really
Yeah,
want
how do you
it."
even respond to that? Like, I don't
I can't you
I'm
don't
over
get
here
over
mad
it,
for you.
right? You can't get over it. I don't know, man. Like, still, it's very wanted. I want to be a mom of 2. I mean, like, in an ideal world, if I had all the money, I'd have, like, 5 kids. But no, I want 2 babies. That's what I want. I bought a house with 3 bedrooms to fill it with children.
Yeah, and, I don't think people especially the toll of multiple losses, I mean, even if they were earlier losses, that's still, 10 times that you've gone through it, 11 times you've gone through it. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a lot of loss for one person, and they all compound upon each other. They're not individual events.
No, they just they wear on. Yeah, even, like, our when our first embryo didn't stick, that was really hard because, like, you're technically pregnant from the minute that they do the implantation. So, 2 weeks later to find out, well, it didn't stick. And you're like, "Are you kidding?" Like, we got science involved. Are you kidding? This is ridiculous. And other people are just like, "Oh, I've had my 3rd baby in the time it's taken you to have 2."
You're
Whew,
like, "Well, good
man,
for you."
I'm so happy. I am so glad your soil is so fertile. I don't know what to say.
Like, maybe you could spread some of that
Yeah.
fertility
Just,
around to
like,
the
send
rest
the
of us.
baby dust this way and, like, make it extra sticky, I swear.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like too with IVF, it's another thing that people think like, "Oh, you have IVF, like that definitely means you get pregnant the first time, you have a
Yeah,
baby the first time," and it's not
does not mean
yeah,
that.
it's not talked about like how many rounds it can take, how much money it costs, the
Yeah,
emotional toll. I mean,
it's true. It's true. We're lucky with our health insurance that, like, it's Cigna, so it's garbage for everything else, but very good for IVF. It's terrible. I do not recommend it for regular health insurance. But, I mean, looking at the actual cost of, like, meds, it's $20,000. Well, like,
I'm like, "Who has that?" That's like you can
who
buy a
does
car
that?
for that, you know?
Yeah. Even, like, we have looked into adoption, and I know adoption is a viable option. It's not for me right now, but that's $20,000. It's the same deal, and I don't know anybody who just has $20,000 lying around.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah,
again, that's another thing that people are like, "Oh, just do IVF or just adopt or just
just
do
adopt.
this."
I
And
exactly. I have a friend right now. She has gone through a few losses. She is currently pregnant, but kept texting me being like, "So when are you gonna, go forward with adoption?" And I was like, "I I don't know how to tell you that, like, I can have a baby, so I must keep on this path until my heart is like, you gotta let it go." It's just a weird thing to push, especially when she's like, "Guess what? I'm pregnant, but are you adopting?
like,
Have you
"No, are
considered?"
you?"
No, man, you know this journey. You have loss. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
It's
sometimes
crazy.
you just wonder, like, what's going on in people's heads, like, especially the ones who have been through it. You would think that they, like
Yeah,
you said, would be
a little
more
bit more
understanding
compassionate.
of that, but
Yeah. And I think also, like, for me, I want as much information as possible. Give me the good, give me the bad, because I need to know. For me, it would be less devastating if I could prepare to be like, "Oh, by the way, when you take progesterone, you're gonna bleed a little bit, but it's normal." Or, "By the way, subchorionic hematoma is totally normal. By the way, your body wants you to get pregnant, but the first time you do it might be like, 'Why did you do that? We don't agree with this,' and just give it up." So, I'm that kind of person. Give me all the facts. Don't sugarcoat it because it's such a shock. Because I did go into IVF being like, "Great, we know we can get pregnant. We got a baby kicking around right now. She's, like, causing chaos all the time, so this will be easy. We'll do the meds, we'll do the transfer, bam, baby. No baby."
yeah, we didn't do IVF, but we did other fertility treatment, and, yeah, that first cycle that it just was a negative, I was just like, "What do you mean it's a negative?" Like,
Yeah,
you gave me all the right things, you made it perfect, why"
Yeah.
Why?
We did all the tools. I even, like, very took a deep dive and made them. I was like, "You are gonna give me all the blood clotting blood work, because if there's a chance and there's a med I could take, we're gonna do it." I don't have any of those, but also, just that they don't push for those, give me every test. At this point, I'm sticking myself with needles anyways.
Yeah,
Do it.
and I'm already spending money, so yeah,
Right.
let's just throw it
Let's just go.
all in there.
Let's just figure out all the answers. It's,
I know.
yeah, let's
It's
do it.
crazy to me that they don't I mean, I guess I understand, like, they don't wanna do that for every single person, but it's just a blood test, right? I mean, how is
It's just
that
a blood test. It's not very invasive.
Yeah,
It's
I
more
mean, and I'm
invasive to do
sure
other things.
that everyone who's gone through even one loss would be willing to pay for that, to
That's
do
what
it.
I agree. That's what I'm saying, especially because there's one, and all you need is Lovenox for your whole pregnancy. That's it. Oh, Lovenox is very cheap. My husband had open heart surgery when he was 20 because he was born with a heart defect. He's on Lovenox. Like, not a big deal. Just get
Yeah, I
in.
got over my fear of giving myself shots, so I'm like, I'd do it if
Yeah,
I had to. I would much rather give myself a shot every day than lose another baby.
that's what I'm saying. I had gestational diabetes. I had to do insulin. I don't care. Let's do it. Keeps the baby
Give me
safe.
all the shots, it's
I'll
fine.
do yeah. I'm very much of the mind that I'll do whatever I have to, like, keep my baby healthy and safe and well. Like, yesterday was physical, so we did the shots, and he was obviously not about it. So, trying to be like, "I know, and it sucks, but I promise in the long run, this is good for you." Or, like, and then immediately after, they're like, "Oh, go do a finger prick." And I was like, "Okay."
Please, no.
Honestly, that nurse deserves an award. He didn't cry, it didn't bother him, she did magic. I was like, "Thank God." 'Cause, like, yeah, I worked so hard to bring you into this world, I'm gonna do everything I can to keep you.
Yes. I know, it's hard because in your head, like, the emotional part of you is like, "Well, maybe if I don't do it, I mean, then they won't
Yeah,
have to hurt," but then you're like, "No, no, like, I have
I
to
mean, just
protect them,"
yeah,
but it's like that internal struggle of
right? And you're crying and they're crying, and the nurse
Oh,
is like, it's just a regular day for me." I'm like, "I
I
know."
know. I know, it's oh, yeah, everything changes when you have I mean, the fear of having the pregnancy after loss is scary, but then the fear of having a living child, having them at home is still scary.
It doesn't go. God, I had very bad postpartum anxiety. I have, like, your fancy run of the mill anxiety anyways, but, like, it was terrible. There's a picture of me with, like, my face on the bassinet, like, half asleep, just making sure he's breathing. But even still, like, and a part of me just wishes, like, I don't like being pregnant. It is not my favorite thing in the world. I could just skip it, and they could be like, "Here, handle this anxiety instead." And I would much rather, because, you can't look inside of yourself. I don't know if you've seen The Fantastic Four, the newest one.
Not yet.
So, there's a scene where the lady, and I'm like, my husband really likes superheroes, I don't know. She's pregnant, and she becomes invisible, so she looks inside of herself and she's like, "Look, the baby is good." I can't tell you the amount of times I was like, "If I had that power, I would be checking." Be like, "You good?" Oh, thank God. The pregnancy anxiety, especially after loss, like, and nothing anybody can say is ever gonna erase it. If it works out for us and we get to have another child, I am gonna be anxious until I have that baby, until I, like, hear them cry, and then I will be anxious for a whole other reason, but at least I can never be pregnant again.
I'm sure that you'll be happy to close that chapter on your terms, you know?
Yes. Yes. And I think that's, like, part of the reason why I don't wanna give it up. For me, it's like I had no control, and I can logically understand that he wasn't strong enough for this world. I can understand that, like, if his heart stopped, what would his life have been like outside? And I wouldn't want that for any baby, not my baby, not any baby. So, sure, that makes sense, but at the same time, I just want my baby.
I know. I mean, I feel the same way, like, Jasmine had a condition too, a rare condition, and, I think about it a lot that would I have wanted her to be born and potentially suffer and I mean, because I don't know. I just don't know
Right.
what her
You just
life
don't
would have
know.
been like. So, those ideas are really hard to wrestle with though, because we just it's all those what ifs and those things, and
Yeah,
we just want them here healthy and perfect, but we don't know if that's what it would have been.
exactly, and I had this really lovely nurse when we finally got back to go to the hospital, and she was like, "I don't know if you're religious, and I don't know what you believe, but this happened to me around the same time, and the only thing that got me through was knowing that, like, their life wouldn't have been what I wanted it to be." And that resonated with me because I do feel that way, and I wouldn't want any of my kids to suffer. Like I told you, Luca went to the hospital to get 4 stitches. I was a wreck. He wanted to steal a dinosaur from the hospital, and I was like, "Whatever you want, I don't care. Let's take the dinosaur, like, whatever will make you happy, my love." So, yeah, it sucks. You don't get to hold your baby, and you don't get to know, and he could have been fine, but I have no idea of knowing, so I have to figure out how how can I be a human who's a mother and, like, live my life with this loss.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't understand that we still parent them, even though they're not physically here, but we're still their parent, and we
Yeah,
still, you know, have to figure out how to do that, and how to do that and parent a living child, because 'cause they're 2
yeah,
different things, and you have to do them simultaneously.
yeah, you have to, like, you know, Luca will be like, "Well, why are you crying?" And it'll be like, I have a sad, need to talk about it, but we do, and it's okay, and, like, hey, it's okay to cry. Your mom cries a lot as just a person, so this is just an extra thing. And I think that maybe that's helpful because he is a boy and boys are always told, "Don't cry and don't feel." So I'm hoping that I if something positive comes from this, it's that he is, like, very in touch with his emotions. Oh my god, it's so hard when you're in it and you're feeling those big feelings, and he's like, "What if we played pirates right now?"
You're like, "Oh,
Like,
the last thing I wanna do
"Okay."
is play
Yeah.
pirates," you know?
Just yeah, just laying on the floor with the sword.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I know every time I'm like, "Is it something I can do sitting or laying? Because 'Cause I'm tired or sitting,
Right?
and I'll
Yeah.
do it from the floor," but
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
but it is hard to manage, like, having that grief and, like you said, the tendency is to wanna hide it from them. That's what I wanted to do, and now I'm like, "Okay, it's okay if they see you cry, it's okay if they know why you're crying," but
Yeah.
it's hard.
It is hard because you wanna, like, protect them, and I never wanna be the like, I have to be like, "But you are a big brother, even if you don't, like, understand what that means yet, you will." So we should talk about him, and we should honor him, and, like, part of it is, like, I wrote these 2 children books for Luca, and so I'm working on one for James, I just don't it's such a different thing. I don't even know where to start with it, but I feel as if, like, he deserves a book too.
Do you wanna talk about the books you wrote a little bit?
Well, they're just very silly. They're like Luca's playing in his backyard, and all the animals, like, come to life when he goes to bed, and they play, and they leave him a note in the first one, and in the second one, he has built a snowman, and the snowman wants a friend, and so there's, like, magic, and then there's a baby snowman, and he comes out, and there's 2 snowmen. So those are for him, and then are, about his backyard. So I don't really know how to do that for James.
Yeah. That's hard. It's really hard because you want to do it in the same way that you would for your living child, but
Exactly.
it's different. It is different.
Yeah, it's not necessarily so I, like, wanna kinda incorporate him, like, maybe he's one of the animals in the backyard, maybe he's a butterfly or a dragonfly or a ladybug, so he's always there, I don't know.
Do you have any particular, like, symbol for him or something that you
You know, we had the day we found out he had passed, you know how when you see, like, a sundog, there's always 2? We only ever saw 1, so it's like a half a rainbow for him, and I did see a lot of ladybugs afterwards, so I'm feeling like I'm leaning towards the ladybugs. In that and my mom has always been like, when you're feeling particularly sad about it, it's kinda his way of being like, "Hey, I'm here, and I know you're sad, but I still love you."
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all look for, some kind of connection to them, and I truly do believe that they send us signs, like, every
I
time
agree
I
with you.
see, like, a random cardinal, and I'm like, "Wow, I haven't seen a cardinal in, like, weeks, and here you are, like, how can that not be you?" You know?
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. A friend of mine, his daughter passed when she was 13, and she was a dancer, but he'll always find glitter in places. Yeah,
I love that. Can
yeah.
never get rid of the glitter.
You can never get lit and it's always like, "There's not been I haven't even used glitter," and there it is.
I love that that's what she uses to
Yeah,
show her.
yeah.
Yeah. So do you have any, like, advice that you would give somebody who's, gone through multiple losses and wants to try again, but scared to try again?
I my biggest advice is don't not talk about it. Don't hide away. If you need time, of course, take the time and grieve, but don't let it eat you up on the inside. And that's what we do when we hide those feelings away. It's not you've done nothing wrong. Your body is not broken. It's not your fault. And that's something that you'll always struggle with because it existed in your body. But you have to talk about it. You have to, lean on your spouse, lean on your friends, lean on your family because they'll help build you up. And so if you're ready to try again and you want to try again, you can say, I am feeling really terrible. I have an ultrasound tomorrow and I can't sleep. And they can be there for you and you can have that. I just think community is so crucial. I think community is crucial in parenthood. And this is like a devastating part of parenthood. You still need that community. And that's what I would say is you take your time, you grieve how you wanna grieve, but don't close yourself off because if your baby was here, you wouldn't close them off. And you deserve to be showered in that love, and so do they.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, we need that community, and they always talk about, oh, it takes a village and all this, but that disappears when you
Yeah,
lose a baby. There,
yeah,
that community is no longer there.
exactly. And because nobody knows what to say or, like, how to approach it, and you can even tell them, like, "I don't need you to do a thing, but listen." I mean, if anybody's listening who hasn't lost a kid, just, like, drop food off at the door or, like, send a DoorDash gift card or I don't even know, like, send them a really upbeat Spotify playlist, like, something that you're it doesn't have to cost money, and you don't have to be all over them, they'll come to you when they're ready, but, it's a loss. Treat it like a loss.
Yeah,
It's
just like
just
you would another type of loss.
exactly, just because that you didn't get to physically, like, hold this baby or hold this baby for very long, doesn't mean that they weren't real and they didn't exist and they didn't matter. You have to they did, and they do.
To me, that's like saying, what if you had a friend that you've had for just a short amount of time, but you weren't friends for years, just a short amount of time? Does that loss matter less because you didn't know them as long? I mean, I don't
Exactly.
think people would treat it differently, but they do with babies,
They do with babies, and that's crazy to me because we know, like, that his blood will be a part of my blood for at least 18 years. His DNA is in me.
which I love that, by the way.
I
That
do too, because at least they're with you.
yeah,
Yeah. So, like, they're still there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
again,
you yeah, go ahead, I'm sorry.
oh, no, I was just gonna say people who haven't been through it, they just can't understand it. They
It's
can't.
true. It's true. I mean, gosh, reading about, like, deaths of children, of things that have happened, I'm like a mess. So I understand wanting to shy away from it, but it's death is an inevitable part of life. So shouldn't we just embrace it and, like, take care of our people?
Should.
We
Yeah,
should. That's
definitely
my
should.
yes, that's my recommendation.
Yeah, but we're definitely a society that does not like to talk about grief and sadness and death and things that are uncomfortable or we can't make other people uncomfortable and, all of that stuff.
Yeah, but if their mom died, we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's the I agree with you, and I've always been very loud about sharing because I know that it's going to help somebody, I know I have as a theater person, I know younger kids, I know older people, but maybe those younger kids who wanna be parents don't know, and God, I wish somebody had told me that, like, it was so common and that I wasn't alone at my first loss. Like, because it's so stunning. Like, I'll never forget the first drop of blood I saw, ever. just being like, oh shit, this is not good. Pardon my language. So just to know that other people have been through it, or to know even that like people are just desperately looking for like a positive pregnancy test,
Yeah.
you know,
I feel like when you're growing up and all they do is teach you, like, it's so easy to get pregnant, you wanna take precautions, like,
yeah,
all this, and then you grow up and you're like, "I wish it was that easy to
right?
get pregnant."
Joke's on you, my dude. I know. I know. And it's always, as a social worker, I've seen people who have been like heavy drug abusers. And I can't, professionally, you step back from it. It's like, are you kidding me? You have 10 kids?
Yeah, you're like, "And I don't do anything like that, and I
I don't do
can't
any,
even."
yeah. Yeah. And like, who, how? In what world?
I know, it's really hard to look past the unfairness of it all because it's
It's
like,
true.
I
And it's
mean,
human to be mad about it. I'm not going to treat anybody differently, and that's just the social worker in me. I've worked with murderers, I've worked with terrible people. They're still humans who deserve dignity and respect. But you get to be mad about it on your own time, and you get to be like, "This is not okay," but that's a part of grief. It's literally the process of grief. Be mad, that's okay. Don't take it out on them. Take your time, like, throw some things. My After our loss, we went to a rage room.
I have wanted to go to one
I
of those.
highly recommend it. Some of them, they're kinda scammy, so make sure you pay for the full, but it really helps to break some things up, and we did some axe throwing as well, and that just, like, physically getting the rage out helps.
I need to look up and see if there's one around here because I have really wanted to do that.
It's very fun. It's very fun. A lot of them now are, like, cohabited by splatter paint, so just for when you're looking it up, sometimes they exist in the same space.
Oh, well, good to know. I wouldn't have thought about that.
Yeah. The only reason I know is February break is next week, and I was like, "Oh, splatter paint with a 4-year-old might be a lot of
Oh,
fun."
so you found out the hard
And it
way.
was the same place that we went, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
I don't know if we'll go there, but okay."
right. Good to know it's there.
Yeah,
So, is there anything else that you'd like to share, add about anything?
I don't know. It's you know what I wanna say is that there's no, like, I don't know if you've ever heard of the box and the ball metaphor.
One of my
Um,
favorites, yeah.
it's so good. My therapist did not know it, which blew my mind, but I think it's a really important metaphor for people who are going through grief, where it's, you know, you have a box and your grief is a big ball in the box. And at first, it presses the button every day, every second. The ball gets smaller and it's just bouncing around after time goes on because things happen. Your body gets used to the grief, maybe. But when the button is pressed again, it feels as if it's new. It's the first time you felt it. And the like, I'm only a few months out from this, but having those days where it's that big grief again and not feeling guilty, I think is really important for people. Like, it's okay that time has gone on and you're still feeling this sad about it. It's okay that out of nowhere, like, it could be something so dumb and it just makes you feel as if you were back there in the minute it happened. But don't feel guilty about it. It's okay. Like, it's just, what is the phrase? It's like, grief is love with nowhere to go.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just your love.
And we have lots of it for them.
You have so much. So it's okay if it comes out of your eyeballs.
I like that now. I'm gonna think, "I'm not crying, it's just love coming
It's
out."
just love. I'm the kind of person who cries when they're happy. I was something he did yesterday and I was crying and he's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm just so happy." It's just the extra love. I don't have space in my body for it.
I love that. I mean, yeah, I love that. I'm gonna use that now.
Oh, I love that. I'm so glad.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Kayla, for sharing your story with us. If you resonated with the story today, whether you're navigating pregnancy after loss, going through recurrent loss, going through IVF, or simply just trying to survive the grief, please know that you are never alone. And there's nothing crazy about still having hope and still trying again. And there's no expiration date on loving your babies, no matter how far along you were for your loss. If this episode resonated with you, please consider sharing it with someone who might need it. Community can disappear after loss, but we can also be the ones who help rebuild it. And if you haven't already, please take a moment to follow or subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. The best thing you can do to help out is to leave a quick review or rating on Apple or Spotify to help other loss and infertility parents find these conversations too. Thank you so much for tuning in, and remember, we are all in this together.